Welcome, everybody, to Interesting AF. We are super excited if you are nursing your hangover. We are recording this the
We are
day
too.
after the big game. It's the day after the big game. So we are psyched because I think everybody listening has noticed that we enjoy music like a lot. And so we are going to talk about performances at this big game and we're going to rank them. Elaine's obviously going to be our pilot on this one, as one of us does not speak sports as as fluently as the other, and therefore going to take us around to this musical journey, and it's going to be our less creepy Willy Wonka on this ride. um, but we are going to go and rank all these big game performances, not only halftime, obviously, but also full on, because there's always a pregame show. So we're going to talk about those, and I am really excited because I went back and watched a lot of them, and man, oh man, how cool it was! And I learned a very cool story about In Living Color and the halftime show. I don't know if you saw that, but I thought that was very cool, and that was my what the fuck moment about researching this episode. Even though we
Yeah,
do it for only the doc is in, I thought this one
cares.
was worth mentioning. But yeah, Elaine, take us away.
Yeah. So, man, I'm still like my face still hurts from the like joy that Benito Bowl brought us all.
Yes.
Um, like just a spectacular performance all around. So yeah, as Linda said, we're gonna go back and we're gonna think some of our favorite performances. What I will give is just like a little bit of history because I feel like we're going to be talking a lot about basically the last like 20 years mostly. Because for a long time, when the big game started and became official, it was a platform to allow like college marching bands to have like this national spotlight. So dating back like the first performances, right? This was the 60th big game. So starting back in the 60s, we're literally talking about like University of Arizona Marching Band, Grambling State University, Florida A&M University. These are all kind of like the first couple years. They had themes. So each year had like a theme for that year's halftime show. It's in like, and those themes even lasted through like the 2000s, and it's really become like who is a headliner and like a show for them and around them that they put on in the last, I would say, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Yeah, 2010 is like the first time they used the term headliner for the halftime show. So I feel like the last 15 years, 20 years are ones that we're really going to talk about. Um, I say we start kind of like lowest ranking to highest because like that's
Mm-hmm.
seems like the most fun.
Yes.
And so
Are we doing top five or top 10, or what are we thinking?
we can do top five.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm trying to think. So my number five is an early one
Okay.
because this one I literally had taped on VHS and watched it every day. So this is like taped on VHS, already dates it and me. This is the 1991 halftime show. The theme is Small World Tribute to 25 years of the big game. And the headlining band was the New Kids on the Block. It
Yes, it
included
was.
it included some
Step
Disney
by
characters,
step.
but like I watched that every day for months. I was also obviously in love with the New Kids on the Block. I had the bed sheets, like their pictures were all over my wall. So that one is like one of my favorites, even though they did a ton of like It's a Small World, and that is literally like everyone's least favorite song on the planet. But they did a rendition of We Are the World, and then New Kids on the Block did their song, This One's for the Children. And then of course like Step by Step was part of it. So like just pure nostalgia, and because like I was obsessed with um New Kids on the Block, that one is my number 5 spot.
Say after like watching all of that, and I defer to Elaine on the rankings, even though I believe we have the same number one, because the number one is undeniable, and
Should be everybody's.
we'll get to be everybody's, and if it's not yours, then you're wrong. Like you're wrong.
Incorrect. Yeah, just straight
incorrect. Straight up. And I saw that one and I was like, what am I, in my early 40s? And I'm just like, step back. Like I was like trying to dance. And I was like, this was 1991 and we are 2026. And I'm still like, step by step. That's how I would see if I was like into the big game, when I was like, because I've come to the United States, I guess, a year before that. So it wasn't actually probably 6-7 months before that, because I arrived in like June of the year before. And so like I, had watching it. But yeah, the New Kids on the Block were a huge thing. And that, if I had been into that, I would have also recorded it on VHS.
It was like truly the most amazing thing ever. I'm also going to throw out there, like, we'll have some honorable mentions we can do maybe at the end of our rankings, because like it is very hard for me to really narrow it down entirely. But
well, of course, I think to a certain degree, when you watch these shows, and I would recommend everybody to just watch them, because if you love music and you love kind of connect, because I feel that's the point, right? The point is you connect people to what's going on externally. And if you look back in the years, like it makes sense every time they picked who they picked.
Yeah.
To kind of bring people together. Like when it was like U2 and like it was like 2000, was it 2002 if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken?
That is correct. Yes.
So like think about what happened in 2001, and it's like One World, like they were like, it was a specific mindset, right? To like,
that is literally the theme from that year, is tribute to those killed in 9/11.
Exactly. So I think there's like and bringing U2, which was like all about like trying to bring the world together and things like that. And I think when you look at these things, there's a lot of people that go, well, it's just music. And you're like, no, it is a definition of what the cultural zeitgeist is. And also, I think a lot about, once we get into the 2000s, like it becomes global, a lot more global than we give it credit for. Because they're like, it's the US and it's just American football, right? But no, it does define a lot of what the world is feeling. And that's why I really enjoyed, Bad Bunny's performance, or Bad Bunny, as they say.
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny.
Was you pronounce it correctly. I just think the concept was, there's so much hatred going on right now. Let's have some fun. Let's reconnect with people. Let's have a good time. Let's celebrate each other in whatever joy, right? It was all about joy and hope and things like that. And you're like, and that's what, no matter if you spoke Spanish or not, that's what mattered. And one of my favorite things was the internet government teacher. She goes, Spanish has been spoken here more than English has. So
of course it has. Of course it is. Anyway, English is not our native language. We were one vote away. We were one vote away from speaking fucking German. So shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ.
So I think there's a lot of things but that's the point. The point of the show, when I came out of it, it was like joy, celebration, and togetherness. And no matter how it was spoken, I had chills at the end of it when he called but as a global policy person, I'm like, oh, is that the Monroe Doctrine you're kind of telling us again? Like, simmer down, buddy.
Like, so good.
Yes, so good. And the football having "We Are." Oh
my God. So good.
I will say he also seemed shell shocked. Sorry, we're coming back to this one, but he seemed shell
I don't give a
shocked that he
shit.
was coming off the stage. He was like, I did it. Like it was like such like a favor, like, oh my God, I pulled this off. Like I did
It
it.
was it was it was perfect. I also think it's like I wrote down like at least 8 honorable mentions because I think it's like it's hard to the production and the protest and the art that's been put in the last like 10 years is so apparent that like it's hard not to feel um stronger about maybe some of the more recent shows. And I'll get into some of that too, but also like the more recent shows. I mean, listen, the last uh I think starting with Rihanna is when Jay-Z took over producing the halftime show. And the the last couple shows have really felt like I would say before Bad Bunny and Kendrick, like the 3 shows prior to that felt very like millennial focused. Like I was going absolute. I'll name one of my honorable mentions right now. The fucking Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem,
Yes.
Mary J. Blige, like Compton, California. It was in Inglewood. Like I went I was I was crip walking left and right. I was like, this is the only way I'm getting around the house for the rest of the night. Like it was so good and so aimed like at several demographics and groups, but like everyone on that stage was at least 50 years old. And I was like, but we've been listening to this music for 30 fucking years, like at
30
least for
years.
some of them. So good. Yeah, I'm pumped. So
And I
that was one
think
of my
for your point about Jay-Z, let's not we forget that the NFL is an enterprise and a corporation.
Mhm.
And they read where the spending power is. They read where they need to attract more people. And they clearly see as like among the black, brown demographic in the US that they're not grabbing the eyeballs they need. So they're like, let's grab as many people as we can. I mean, Bad Bunny, he has 85 million subscribers. 88, I think it was on Spotify. I mean, of course, he made almost $1 billion
In a
for like
month. That's in a month, by the way. That's per month. Per
so like
month.
obvious and I think they've gotten really I think well Jay-Z to not note any controversies that he's currently under has done a pretty good job at like catching the eye of
Absolutely.
you know most other people that aren't one class or another. So I've really appreciate that kind of spin because it's been Shakira, Beyonce, what since he's taken over, Rihanna, Kendrick,
Usher.
Benito. I mean, I just Usher. Oh,
Usher.
Usher. Oh,
That's another
Usher.
honorable mention for me because
Oof,
that one
that's a good
again
one.
felt like very millennial, like oh,
Is he aging
perfect. And also,
backwards? Usher
yeah,
looks
like
like
a
he's
little
aging
shit.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, like an asshole.
God. What
Okay.
I kept saying the sentence. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I was gonna ask what your number 5 was.
No, mine I'm really relying on the things, but
Okay.
I'm relying on yours because I feel like I
Done.
haven't watched them
Okay.
enough
Okay.
to like say
That's fair.
anything with great authority.
Oh, oh yeah. No, I have plenty of things written down here, as I'm sure everyone
Why
would be
no?
very shocked. Okay, so I'll move into my number 4, which I have a tie. I've decided. I
Okay.
have a tie for
All
number
right.
4. Last night's has made my top
Yeah.
5. It's
Yeah.
just so joyful. So many things in it that like meant so much. Like the only thing he had in English at all was the message on the board said
Board.
the only thing stronger than hate is love, and then together we are all America on the football. And then of course Lady Gaga sang in English and she looked like a 15 out of 10. Just stunning.
And
So
also, why didn't they arrange Die with a Smile like that before? I hope they release that thing.
I know. So good. Um yeah, so he number 4, he is tied with Michael Jackson. Like that, that was I feel like that was the first time the halftime show went blockbuster, like for lack
It
of a
was
better term. Like, it was so good. If I'm recalling, I think that was maybe like 93
Yes, and
or
I can tell you
93.
why, because I learned something about that.
Oh, tell me.
So, so Fox News. So again, like you were saying, so up until a certain time, they had like themes and things like that. It was marching bands. It wasn't a big thing. And what happened was that Fox, the network was just up and was starting to become a network, and they were like angling for views and things like that. So when Living Color had an idea in 1992, they said, let's set up a show just during the halftime show because nobody really looks at it and go. We put a time clock to say, come back, come to us. Like they did a blitz on saying, go watch In Living Color during the halftime show, and then we'll have a clock so you can go back to the game and you won't miss anything about the game. And they had a show, they had an In Living Color show in 1992 to say, you know, please come here and we'll entertain you while you're having whatever. And then next year they hire Michael Jackson because it had such an attrition rate because nobody went back to the game.
Of course. Of course. That makes
And
perfect sense.
and so and so that is why it became a blockbuster because of In Living Color.
Amazing.
And that is the history of how the halftime show became a thing. And that was my what the fuck moment. You're like, just 1 year.
Great.
And
Yeah,
NFL was like, yeah, we gotta do we gotta do something.
for real. I'm glad then, like, you would think that they would have been included anyway, but in that Dunkin' Donuts commercial where they had all the 90s sitcom actors in
Yeah.
it, they included In Living Color,
Yes, they did. Yeah, yeah.
which I almost feel like if you're just picking the top like 5 shows, they would not have included, but I hope they put that in there as the nod to like they changed, halftime history, really.
Yeah, and that was like one of the interviews of the Wayans brothers saying like that is a thing that they did. Um
Amazing.
and yeah, so that was, I'm glad you brought up Michael Jackson because there's a reason for that.
Yes.
There's a reason for
And that one too was, he ended the show with We Are the World and
that.
Heal the
World.
World, Black or White. I'm pretty sure if I recall, because especially um I think we got a moonwalk or two in
Yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which of course is
That
just
was like
fucking iconic.
and, and it was like the height of Michael Jackson. So like
Yeah,
the
93.
NFL weren't like they went like full blown. They were like, "Oh my god, we got to do something." And they like were like, "Peace out. We're bringing MJ."
Hired the king of pop. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Because
come
that's
on.
and this is something that I talk about with my brother a lot, that like the level of MJ superstardom, you cannot understand it unless you were during it because think like in places in Africa, we didn't have the internet and people knew his songs. Like that's how big this man was. Like it went everywhere. And it was like for them to bring him was like that, like it was like you knew they were like out for like blood. They were like, where this is not happening again. But yeah, that was a great performance. It was like all his good hits, and you're just like, it was just like just fun. It was like just fun. And I think that's to your point about Bud Bunny. Like the concept is it is a cultural zeitgeist about we are done being scared, we are done being sad. We want to be joyful and we want to love each other. And I think that's just like the key thing that just like he just exuded that so much. And
And
it was great.
his costumes were iconic, right? It's the all black with the like crisscross gold and the gold belt, and then of course he changed into the open white shirt with the white button down with the white t-shirt underneath. Just absolutely iconic. So yeah, that
But
one is on the list for me.
yeah, it should be. And I think, and there's like commentary about how like, oh, it was the best performance of all time. It wasn't. I mean, I think we have our
Mm,
number one, but it was really, really good. Like, I mean, this one top 5 for sure. I mean, that
yeah,
just doesn't.
yeah. All right, number 3. I know you'll agree with me with this being in the top 5 for sure. And the reason we specifically are saying performances and not just halftime show is because we're going back to 91, but Whitney Houston's national anthem needs to be included on every list. because it is one of truly the greatest American performances of all time
all
outside of the
time.
big game. Outside, like, it is so, I still get goosebumps even just thinking about it, let alone listening to it. Like, it is so perfect, period. So that is my number three.
And my thing about that is that, and this is again from the government teacher, she posted it. She's like, and you see the moment where Whitney Houston realizes she's nailed it. Like it's true. If you look at it, you're like, holy, like right there
Right.
when she
Yeah.
hits the first big note, you're like, oh, I've got this. And you're like, I'm wearing a thermal shirt right now and I have like goosebumps all over. Like that's how just thinking of the song, like thinking of her rendition of this of that was just oh
Yeah. It's so good. So that one's on the
so good.
list.
Yes. 100% agree.
And I know, so another honorable mention I think that you like to bring up in that same vein. Why don't we move to your other favorite national anthem moment?
Yes. Yes, which is Marvin Gaye's at the 1983 NBA All-Star game. Oh, like he just and I think this was about what Marvin Gaye was so good at. He was so good at just redefining music, even if it was a purely American, like he was like, this is our America too, in a way. And just
Hmm.
the soul and just how he just like you just like the second you hear those first notes, you're like, I'm here. I'm here with you. And
Yeah,
it's oh so good. So
it's
good.
so
I mean,
good.
I love that one. And one of the ones, you know, the executive producer of Blackish, he had a show um, that he did, and now I'm like blanking on the name, but basically like a fictionalized version of his life, like as he was writing and you know, executive producer. I think it didn't go past 2 seasons. It was on Netflix. I'm blanking on the name, but essentially he goes, "That's our national anthem." Like when he was talking about Juneteenth, he's like, "That's the one we play." Like you know, for
Yeah.
African Americans, and he's like, "That's ours. That's the one. That's for Juneteenth. That's the theme."
Yeah, it's
And
like
I
Stevie
just
Wonder's Happy Birthday song. Like,
exactly.
same. Like,
Yeah. So that one, yeah, honorable mention on that one. Oh, that one, those two is well, Whitney more than Marvin, but like chills immediately. Immediately.
so good. Speaking of Marvin Gaye, I'm gonna throw out another one of my honorable mentions. I think it was 98. They did a Motown, like a 40th anniversary of Motown. That was so good. It
Yeah, I
had
remember. Yeah.
Boys to Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, Queen Latifah. Of course, they always typically have a marching band there as well. But I remember that one being really good. Again, not quite like the blockbuster type, like hype show we get nowadays, but like that just also wasn't the vibe back then. But it was, I remember that being a really, really fun one.
Was that the one with Diana Ross?
No, that was a different one, but she was
Okay,
also
got it.
great. That was a
She
different
was also
show.
great.
Um, I also want to give a lot of credit to The Weeknd. I think people did not love that show. However, it was COVID. There was, they played in an empty stadium and he did the best he could with what he was given. There's no crowd. So there was a lot of like camera work and he had the hottest song. Blinding Lights was the song.
The
Like I
song,
thought
that's
he was
true.
also, I like every song he sang. I was like, oh my God, I know all of these songs. Like I forgot how many songs of his I know. And so I just like to put an honorable mention out to him only because I just feel like he did the best he could with the environment and like what he was given and the fact that like it was an empty fucking stadium. Like that sucked. That had to suck.
And I
He
also
took
and
one
I also
performance.
think but yeah, and I still think it's like again, cultural zeitgeist of the time. Like we were like the way he did that show, it's like we're all like blind, like we're all blinded, like trying to figure out where the fuck we're going. Like
Yeah,
and all the memes around that, it was like so perfect. And even my European husband loves The Weekend. He loves him.
he's great.
And like so like there was like so much like I think again, I think whomever like Jay Z does such a good job at picking in the last at least couple of years or at
Yeah,
least the NFL has always had these people that are picking out the headliners or the halftime shows as like people that really kind of connect with what's going on. And like you go back, and even when you're thinking about the halftime show, you go, it comes back with a feeling, right? Like there's a feeling that
totally.
like immediately arises that I think, that's why we watch these things. That's why we want to kind of discuss them. And it's a point of great amount of discussion where you connect with people and you go, "Oh, I loved it," or "I didn't like it.
Absolutely.
This is what I like." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, which is what cracks me up about people freaking out about Bad Bunny playing the halftime show. That wasn't even his first time in a halftime show. He was
Yeah,
on
it was
stage.
not.
He was on stage with Shakira and J-Lo in 2020. Him and
Yeah, it
J
was.
Balvin were both like, calm the fuck down. Also, he fucking delivered. So shout out to Shakira and J-Lo too, because that one was insane. Um,
Yes.
like 2 50-year-old women looking that like put together. Like just I wish I
I
looked
am.
half like
I'm
shit
still
pulled
in my
together as they
pajama
did.
pants.
Girl, me too. Yeah, I get it.
My pajama.
I haven't brushed my
At
hair
least
yet.
it's earlier for you. At least for me, it's
That's
like
true. I did
At
my
least
skincare
I.
routine. That's it. I did my skincare routine. So I guess
Ooh,
I could check
I've
something.
I found a really cool hack. I will send you the picture of it
Yes,
where
please.
I highly tangent, but I will share it with you. Like it's like an intense moisturizer barrier
Fuck, go on the
cream.
tangent.
Yeah, so basically it's Aven, which is like a French brand, but there's like
I've
a,
heard
ba-
about them.
a skin barrier cream, so it's Cyclofate, and basically, and how I use tretinoin. So basically, there's like flaking and things like that. So what I've decided is I'm going to start to do one time a week, like doing it on
Ooh.
Sundays to like just like do like glass skin type of thing. And basically, it's like super white, like it's very thick. So it's like really like it's in there. So tangent over, but if you
No,
want
I love
to
it.
sponsor us, Evan, we're happy to do it. And I can even say Evan correctly. So just in
Well
case.
done. Okay, now for number two.
Number two.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Don't at me, bro.
No, I'm not atting you.
Last year,
Bim bump.
I rewatch it regularly. I've listened to podcasts about last year's performance. Last year's performance was so good. It was not just the logistics, but like the statement, like Samuel L. Jackson continually coming out and interrupting the show, being like, "You're being too ghetto, too black." Like, I love how unapologetically black last year was, how unapologetically Puerto Rican this year was. Like, I fucking love all of it. But Kendrick, like, truly, that got to the end, and I was like, this is going down as one of the greatest halftime shows ever. And it is my number two, even a year later. Like, I still think about it. I still watch it all the time. He had, um, messages about the state of our country. And, but I mean, truly, one of the biggest rap battles was going on at the time. And one of my favorite parts is when they're like, "Are you really gonna do it?" And then he immediately like you can't. First of all, you can't not play "Not Like Us" when it is like the
No,
number one
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
But like even just like the diss part of it, like the whole stadium screaming A minor, like Jesus Christ. It's just a
Yeah.
moment. And also I like TV Off is actually my favorite song from that album. And so like when he brings
Yeah.
Mustard, DJ Mustard out, like it just it was so good. And then like everyone in the like when they made the flag when he's singing Humble, I mean just like so
Yeah.
many things about it were just like yes, like just inject it into my veins.
And I think, to a certain degree, like a lot of them are closer to time. Like there's like always something about a performance that's like giving you chills or like means something to you. And I think for people that want people to have a place and be included, I mean, the ones that have the most meaning about what the state of our country is and going, yes, people deserve the space. They deserve to
Yeah.
be heard. They deserve to be around. And I think that's always, and then the playful aspect of it too. It's not just serious. It's also fun, right? Like Kendrick Lamar, yeah, he was talking about all the stuff, but like the fact that there was the diss element, like the fact that like you had to like quote unquote take a side and like, although the sides are pretty clear, but like, you know, think about your morals if you're not anyway. But I think there's that too, which I really enjoy. There's like fun, like we all have like our little feuds with people and want like to be like Kendrick and be able to be at the halftime show like dissing whomever has wronged us. I think we've all been in that space, and I think that's kind of the also the aspect of it of like being able to take advantage of.
Yes. So I'm gonna throw in some more honorable mentions now that we're done
Yes, let's
talking
do it.
Kendrick. Although I love, like, I love Kendrick.
We
Okay,
could talk
so
we could talk forever about that performance was
talk
just awesome.
forever. Every like Serena Williams showing up, like fucking amazing. And now I'm choking on my own air. So 1997, they had the Blues Brothers, which was just
Yeah.
fun. Like,
Yeah.
just fun. It was the Blues Brothers Bash. It was Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, Jim Belushi, ZZ Top was there, James Brown was there. So like this, I mean, listen to this playlist. Okay. Everybody needs somebody to love. Soul Man. I feel good. I got you. I feel good. Get up. I feel like being a sex machine. And then Tush, Legs, and Give Me Some Lovin'. Like,
Yeah.
that is just a
That's right.
fun set list. So that one's an honorable mention for me. And then like I also just love watching the like middle-aged men in their black suits, like kind of looking like they have rhythm, but they don't. And they just kind of kick
Don't.
around. They just kind of flail around. Like Blues Brothers is
And
just
they own it. And they
Yeah.
fucking own it.
It started as an SNL sketch and blossomed into they still perform today. Jim Belushi and Dan Aykroyd still perform as the Blues Brothers today. It's ridiculous.
That just that just warms my heart that
Yeah.
they just keep doing what they're doing.
I know. Another honorable mention for me, Tom Petty. Tom Petty is not like the most blockbustery, person. He had always been on my my concert bucket list. I love Tom Petty music. He's no like great performer, but he puts on a great show. Like he I don't know. There's just like when I finally saw him live, which was after years after the halftime show, I was like, I get it. Like it's just kind of like joyful when you are. I also love Tom Petty music, and I know a lot of his songs, most of his songs, but I still thought he put on like a decently great performance, and I think that was one of those moments where a lot of people were like, "Wow, I know a lot of his songs, and I don't think I realized I knew as much Tom Petty as I thought."
Yeah, and I'll add my honorable mention, and I wouldn't
Yes,
have added
please.
them unless I had seen them live. Because despite the fact that I love Coldplay, I love
Oh,
Coldplay, I always
yes.
have. I always have. I didn't realize how fun of a show they were until I went to one of their shows. And this was me, like I saw them like on the show and I was like, "Oh, this is fun." And they played their like, high octane thing, but you don't realize how fun it is because of the energy that Chris Martin and the band create in a crowd. It's like one of those things about stage presence that you don't realize until like you're there. And that's something about them that I wouldn't have noted unless I had seen them in a show. And I would
No,
honorable mention Coldplay.
I think that's that's a really good
what was
honorable mention for sure.
what was that year? 12, 13?
16. So
16.
10 years ago, also in Santa Clara, where they just played last night.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good one because like Beyonce and Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson, like all there. I mean, of course, other honorable mentions, Lady Gaga, of course, Rihanna. You go back into the early mid 2000s, the Britney Spears and Aerosmith, like that one was
Smith.
fun as hell. Like I
Yup.
remember taking that one was 2001. I remember, I don't know why I had this, but like on the DC Metro, they still had like a poster. Remember when you could just like push those posters out of like the ad
Yeah.
spots on the
Yeah,
Metro?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They still had this one up in like 2003 or 4 for some reason. And so I took it and
Nice. I think those are also very good mentions, but you have the poster and
I
that's
yeah, I
amazing. You
took
need
it
to
from the
when we
DC.
post this when we post this something, you need to at least, if you still have it.
I don't still have it to this day, but I had it like hanging in my dorm room. But I can probably find
That's
the
awesome.
poster. Like I can probably find the poster online and we'll put it up there because it was just so funny. I was like, why is this still
That's
here?
awesome.
Um,
That is
yeah,
very
those were all good
funny.
ones. Okay. Now, like obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
No, not
However,
here.
however, if this isn't the number one Super Bowl performance, excuse me, big game halftime show performance of all time on your list,
Don't sue us,
I
please.
don't know that the conversation can go any further because
Nope.
the answer forever and always will be Prince. Like, I just, and some of it, some of the reason that he will forever and always be number one was happenstance. Okay. You can't tell me, um, it was him, Florida A&M University Marching Band, and that was it. He had his Prince symbol stage lit up in fucking purple. This is the playlist. We Will Rock You intro. Let's Go Crazy, which by the way is the song that we opened our the dance floor at our wedding to, right? Dearly beloved, we gather here today to
Yeah,
celebrate
here
this thing
today to
called life.
celebrate this thing called life.
Like opened our wedding reception with that song. Baby I'm a Star, Proud Mary, 1999, All Along the Watchtower, Best of You, and then
And
the
then,
pivotal moment,
and then,
Purple Rain, which is one of the greatest songs of all time.
yes.
But then the stage is lit up purple. He's playing his purple guitar, and the fucking heavens open and it starts raining. And
And
the rain looked purple, literally looked like purple rain coming down on the stage and the field. And I am like, I remember watching it like in tears, being like, it doesn't get better than this. This is so iconic. I
and
can't,
if
I
if
can't
you're
even.
and if you're not religious, which I'm not,
I'm not
but
either, but I was in that moment.
right? There is no way that you don't go. There is a higher power somewhere up there to say, I'm gonna just kick this up a notch just in case you weren't feeling anything.
If it needs to rain during this game, it is this moment right now. And it is so epic. Like I just can't. And he's epic. Like truly, still this day, obviously we've talked about this, and I'm sure I've mentioned it on the show. Like we've seen a lot of live music. We spend most of our disposable income on it. My number one concert I have ever been to in my entire life, this I went in 2011, will always and forever be fucking Prince. Like I have never been in the presence of someone with such command of an entire room, which was a fucking arena. It was Madison Square Garden. And this performance was before I got to see him live. And I'm so thankful I got to see him live. But like, it's just, again, like, he's not this like big showy, like, person in terms of like, he doesn't choreograph music because he's playing the guitar most of the time. But just the stage presence and like the confidence and like the sex that he oozes is just like
And I think
he's such a vibe or was.
such a vibe. And we have to always talk about him in present tense because he's
He lives with
present
us.
tense. Like
He lives
he
with
lives
us.
for us forever. There's no way, even if you like, there's no way you were not changed by that performance. Like, no way. Like, you watch it and you're like, like, it's one of those moments you're like, I am seeing
Yeah.
like greatness, like not even the word greatness, like the definition of greatness, right? Like in a way, and it's exactly like that Whitney Houston thing where he's like, "I know this. I know I'm fucking rocking this." Not that he doesn't ever rock it. I think Prince is one of those people that I don't think has ever been that was a shitty show. I feel like he's the one that's like always I've never heard any of that. You know, sometimes you're like, "Oh, well that person kind of half-assed it or whatever."
Yeah.
Like with him it was always just on point, and you just didn't like it's just one of those moments where you're like you watch him and you're watching him and you're connecting in a way that's like bigger than us. And I think
Mhm.
that's what Prince's, music in general does. But like that particular performance was like, holy fuck. And like and as we said, if that's not your number one performance, you're wrong.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Because it is just it's
And
truly
you know
great,
what?
and they
Come at us. Come at us.
yeah, yeah, I dare you. Maybe not. But still,
No, we dare you. We argue for a living. God damn it. Like,
that's
no.
accurate. That's accurate.
Okay, and then this is the thing that I'm like, the other things I'm like, don't at me, but this one I'm like, come, just let me show you how wrong you are. Let me show you.
So in looking this up, it looks like 2020, which was Shakira and J-Lo, so you're right, was the first Rock Nation, and he's been involved ever since. So The Weeknd, Dre, Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick,
It's it's
Rihanna,
people,
and Kendrick
it's
again,
people,
Usher.
it's it's saying that America is not just like, but again, then, but even
We
before
never
then, you
have
still
just
had,
been just.
yeah, but that's the point. Like, but
Yeah,
if you think about it, like even before that, the NFL has been really good at picking up the the cultural vibes,
the
as it were.
demographic gaps that they have and how to fill them.
Yep, yep. Because in the end, there's a history professor that I love that said, "Money talks, and if it's a lot, it only need whisper."
Amen to that. That's why we gotta vote with our wallets and act and
That's right.
protest with our wallets.
Indeed. And I and I think that's in the end what it is, right? I think we people have more power than they think they do. And music matters, and you supporting things no matter what because they have a message, and not except if it's Prince's, performance, that one is, that one's it.
It
But yeah, I think we're I love the top 5. I agree with those, all those. I mentioned
sweet.
my honorable mentions. But yeah, I mean, those were all amazing performances. And I actually watched all of them in preparation for this. So like, you know,
Yeah.
I think those were massive. I mean, it just also there's just the good, like you just feel good after watching stuff like that. You're just like, oh, like injected into my veins. Just like, oh, people, listen to more music, okay?
Yeah,
Everybody,
I don't know
listen
that
to
I
more
really
music.
watched any of the actual game. I was like, I'm just here for Benito Bowl, baby.
Yeah, that's right. I I told you I signed in on purposely for this.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
um
I love it.
and I think what we want to continue though is the sports theme,
Yes.
because as everybody knows, it is the Olympics, and please go watch some curling because that's fun. If you missed it, god, there's been some exciting moments that have happened in bad and good ways.
Yes, figure skating. Our boy from near our hometowns is killing it.
Yep, that's right, and he did a backflip.
On like all the credit in the world to her for her last go, but oof,
Hmm.
she's a trooper, man. Yeah, lots
Yeah,
of good stuff. Um,
badass. And therefore, Elaine is
yes.
going to tell us about our next doc is in, which I will probably get the tissues ready for.
Yeah. So there is a new documentary on Netflix in the US. Or at least that's how I think it's a Netflix documentary. So pretty good chance that it's also available on Netflix outside the US. Uh,
Mm.
it is it is about the 1980 US hockey team. Um, I am looking up the official name. It's called Miracle, the Boys of 80. And if you've seen the movie Miracle, which is fantastic, if you haven't, like, watch it anyway. Like, meaning that movie and or this documentary. This story is un I mean, it's like the might be one of, if not the most epic Cinderella story in US sports history. Like, it's one of those things where when people ask, like, if there are events you could have been alive and present at, this is one that is on my list specifically.
This is a good
It
one.
is just, like, it's such a great story. We won't give away for those of you who are unaware, especially if you aren't from the US or even if you are.
Yeah.
Um, this
But get ready
story
for
is
all the feels. Get ready for
oh,
all the fucking feels, man. All of them.
all the feels. So
All
yeah,
the
we're gonna
feels.
watch that in honor of the current Winter Olympics. And I do want to put a plug. We are not sponsored, but if Peacock, if you want to sponsor us, if you love even if you don't love the Olympics, if you like watching the Olympics, even remotely, you have to get Peacock and you have to watch Gold Zone. It is a fucking game changer when it comes to Olympic viewing. It is for any football fans, since we just finished a football episode, it is Red Zone for the Olympics. So NFL Red Zone is a subscription you can have, or a channel that sometimes comes with some subscriptions, where anytime it split screens to any game that gets within the red zone, which is the last 10 yards of the football field. So anyone within like scoring distance, essentially.
Mm.
This is for the Olympics. It is, starting off, it's just like, big races that are going on. But as like events start coming to a close, anytime there's a potential medal opportunity, and then of course, because Peacock being in the US, or being based out of the US, anytime there's like a US game going on, or especially if like the US is doing very well in a particular event, medaling, any of that stuff. And it split screens. Like I remember in the Summer Olympics, I guess a year and a half ago, there was one point there were like 6 events on my screen. It was like fucking cycling and ping pong and breakdancing. And like it's the
Ooh.
most ridiculous combo of sports. And I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. You don't miss a thing. It's
Yeah,
great.
and also R.I.P. Breakdancing.
I blame what was her name? Raygun from Australia.
It's okay. Let's no girl on girl crime, okay?
I'm
That's
sorry. That's right. That's right. That's right.
but yeah, she sucks.
That was
Yikes, girl. Yikes. She's so much better though. Have you ever seen her other breakdancing? Like she's actually like really good. Then you're
I
like,
couldn't watch anything because like that routine made me feel so awkward that I was like, what? What? That was like such a
yeah,
cringy moment.
it was, but it was again. We needed that. I think we all needed some cringe. But yeah, R.I.P. breakdancing because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I mean, it shouldn't have been a sport. Anyway, so we're excited about this new documentary. Get all the feels. Enjoy your Olympics, and please Peacock sponsor us because remember, one of the best moments on TV is that first 10 minutes of the best of music SNL 50 years.
Damn right.
And if I just yeah
I'm gonna go watch that now. I'm gonna watch
yeah
Kendrick again. I'm gonna watch Bad Bunny, and I'm gonna watch Prince and Whitney and those first 10 minutes of
I
SNL.
think
That's my
I
playlist for
think
the afternoon.
I think that sounds like a great plan. And with that, Elaine, take us out.
Stay interesting.